Imagine waking up one morning, the house quiet except for the hum of your refrigerator. You shuffle to the kitchen, make your coffee, and realize it's been days since you've spoken to anyone. No one's called to check in. No one's knocked on your door, and suddenly a small worry creeps in. What if something happens to me and no one notices? This is the reality for many older adults living alone. Folks in their 60s, 70s, 80s, or even beyond. It's not just about feeling lonely. It's about the quiet risks that build up when there's no one around to spot them, a stumble on a loose rug, a forgotten medication, or a sudden dizzy spell. But here's the good news: living alone doesn't have to mean living at risk. With a few smart practical habits, you can create a life that's not only safe but vibrant, independent, and full of purpose. Today we're diving into 5 powerful ways to stay safe while living alone, whether you're embracing your independence now or planning for the years ahead. These aren't just tips, they're strategies backed by doctors, safety experts, and real-life seniors who've mastered the art of thriving solo. Each one can transform your home into a sanctuary of security and confidence, helping you tackle challenges like health, safety, and even those moments of quiet that feel a little too heavy. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's explore how to make living alone work for you, not against you. Let's start with the first habit: creating a daily check-in system that's as simple as it is life-saving. When you live alone, there's no one there to notice if you're not feeling well or if you've had a small accident. A slip in the bathroom or a missed dose of medication can turn into a serious problem if it goes unnoticed for hours or worse, days. But a daily check-in system is like a quiet guardian working in the background to keep you safe without compromising your privacy or independence. This isn't about having someone hover over you. It's about building a small, reliable routine that lets someone know you're okay. Think about Margaret, a 78-year-old widow who lives in a cozy apartment in a small town. She's active, loves her morning walks, and prides herself on her independence. But last year she tripped while watering her plants and sprained her ankle. She was fine, but it took her hours to crawl to her phone. That experience shook her, not because she felt frail, but because she realized no one would have known she needed help. So she set up a simple system every morning by 8 a.m. She sends a quick text to her neighbor saying, "Good morning, all's well." If her neighbor doesn't hear from her by 9, she calls. It's a 10-second habit that gives Margaret peace of mind and lets her family know she's safe without feeling like they're intruding. You can create your own check-in system in a way that fits your life. It could be a daily call to a friend, a text to a family member, or even something as simple as raising your blinds by a certain time each morning to signal to a neighbor that you're up and about. In some communities, seniors use a buddy system where they check on each other with a quick wave or a porch light turned on. Technology can help too. There are apps and devices designed for seniors, like ones that send an alert to a loved one if you don't check in by a set time. Some even connect you to a volunteer who calls daily for a friendly chat. The key is to make it a habit, like brushing your teeth, something small that becomes second nature. This isn't about admitting you need help. It's about being wise enough to plan for the unexpected. After all, the strongest people don't avoid safety nets, they build them. Now let's move to the second habit: making your home a fortress against falls. Falls are one of the biggest threats to seniors living alone, not because you're weak, but because homes often aren't designed for how our bodies change as we age. A rug that's been in your living room for decades, a dimly lit hallway, or a chair that's just a bit too low can turn a familiar space into a minefield. The good news: You don't need a complete home overhaul to stay safe, just a few thoughtful changes that make your space work with you, not against you. Take James, an 84-year-old retired mechanic who's lived alone since his wife passed. He loved his home filled with memories of raising his kids, but he didn't notice the small hazards piling up a frayed rug in the dining room, a bathroom with no grab bars, and a kitchen shelf he had to stretch to reach. One evening, he tripped over a cord while carrying his dinner plate and fractured his wrist. That fall didn't just cost him weeks of recovery, it shook his confidence. Determined to stay in his home, James took action. He replaced slippery rugs with non-slip mats, installed bright motion sensor lights in his hallways, and moved his everyday dishes to a lower shelf. These changes didn't just prevent falls, they gave him back his sense of control. Start by walking through your home with fresh eyes as if you're seeing it for the first time. Look for anything that could trip you: loose cords, wobbly furniture, or rugs with curled edges. Secure them or remove them. Lighting is crucial. Our eyes don't adjust to darkness as quickly as we age. Add soft, bright lights in key areas like stairways, bathrooms, and your bedroom. Motion sensor nightlights are a game changer, turning on automatically when you get up in the middle of the night. In the bathroom, install grab bars near the toilet and shower, and consider a shower seat if balance is a concern. Don't overlook your footwear. Those comfy slippers might feel cozy, but if they lack grip, they're a risk. Opt for house shoes with rubber soles for better traction. These changes aren't about making your home feel like a hospital. They're about creating a space that supports your independence. Think of it like tuning up a car. You're not replacing the engine, just making sure it runs smoothly. If you're finding this helpful, drop a comment below with the number 2 to let me know you're with me. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you don't miss more tips like these. Let's keep going with the next habit to make living alone safer and more empowering. Now that we've got a daily check-in system to keep you connected and a fall-proof home to keep you steady, let's dive into the next habit that can make living alone not just safe, but empowering. Staying in tune with your health through regular self-checks. When you're on your own, there's no one around to notice if you're feeling off. Maybe you're more tired than usual, or you're forgetting small things like where you park the car. These little signs can be easy to brush off, but they're your body's way of waving a quiet flag asking you to pay attention. Catching them early can mean the difference between a minor tweak and a major health scare. The good news: you don't need a medical degree to stay on top of your health, just a little awareness and a simple routine. Consider Ellen, a 71-year-old who lives alone in a small condo. She's always been active gardening and playing cards with her friends, but last year she started feeling sluggish. At first she chalked it up to just getting older, but the fatigue kept creeping in. She wasn't eating as much and her energy tanked. It wasn't until she started keeping a weekly journal, jotting down how she felt each day, that she noticed a pattern. Her appetite was fading and she was losing weight without trying. That prompted a visit to her doctor, who caught a thyroid issue early. With a simple medication adjustment, Ellen was back to her vibrant self. That journal wasn't just a notebook, it was her lifeline. You can create your own early warning system with a quick weekly check-in. Grab a notebook or even a sticky note, and every Sunday morning ask yourself 5 simple questions. Did I sleep well this week? Have I been eating regularly and feeling satisfied? Did I have enough energy for my daily tasks? Have I noticed any aches, dizziness, or swelling? And how's my mood? Am I feeling unusually down or anxious? Write down your answers, and if anything feels off for more than a week, it's time to call your doctor or share it with someone you trust. This isn't about obsessing over every twinge, it's about knowing your baseline so you can spot when something's not right. You can also track things like your weight or blood pressure if you have a home monitor. Small changes like losing a few pounds without trying or feeling dizzy when you stand up can be clues to bigger issues like dehydration or medication side effects. Another key area to watch is your memory. Forgetting a name now and then is normal, but if you're misplacing things, often like leaving your keys in the fridge or struggling to follow conversations, don't ignore it. These could be signs of stress, poor sleep, or even early cognitive changes. A simple habit like playing memory games or writing a daily to-do list can keep your mind sharp and help you notice shifts. The beauty of this habit is that it puts you in the driver's seat. You're not waiting for someone else to notice you're off, you're the one in control, and that's incredibly empowering. If you're finding this resonates, drop a comment with the number 3 to let me know you're here. Let's keep building that safety net with the next habit. Moving on, let's talk about designing your home for easy access and peace of mind. Your home is your sanctuary, but as you age, it can start to feel like it's working against you. That top shelf you've always reached for, the narrow hallway, crowded with furniture, or the slippery tile in the bathroom, these aren't just inconveniences. They're risks that can chip away at your independence. The goal isn't to strip your home of its personality, but to make it a place where every corner supports your safety and comfort. This habit is about small, intentional changes that let you move through your day with confidence, knowing your space has your back. Picture Tom, an 80-year-old widower who's lived in his 2-story home for 50 years. He loved every inch of it, the creaky stairs, the cozy living room packed with family photos. But last winter, he slipped on a patch of ice on his front steps and barely caught himself. It made him realize his home, unchanged for decades, wasn't keeping up with his needs. So he took a hard look at his space. He moved his most used kitchen items to lower cabinets, added a sturdy handrail to his stairs, and swapped out his heavy ceramic mugs for lightweight ones that were easier to grip. Those small tweaks didn't just make his home safer, they made it feel like a partner in his daily life. Start by rethinking your layout. Walk through your home and ask, are my pathways clear? Can I reach my everyday items without stretching or climbing? If you're tiptoeing to grab a pan or stepping over a pile of magazines, it's time to simplify. Move frequently used items like dishes, towels, or medications to waist or shoulder height. Clear clutter from walkways and consider removing furniture that crowds your space. If you love your rugs, secure them with double-sided tape or replace them with non-slip versions. Door handles can be another sneaky challenge. Lever-style handles are easier to grip than knobs if arthritis is an issue. And don't sleep on your bathroom, it's the riskiest room in the house. A non-slip mat inside and outside the shower, a grab bar by the toilet, and a bath bench can make all the difference. Lighting is another game changer. As we age, our eyes need more light to navigate safely. Swap out dim bulbs for brighter, softer ones, and add motion sensor lights in hallways or near your bed for nighttime trips. Finally, make sure help is always within reach. Keep a phone or a medical alert device in every major room, not just your bedroom. Some seniors wear a smartwatch that can call for help with a tap. These changes don't mean you're frail. They mean you're smart enough to plan for a life you love. Think of your home as a trusted friend, one that's there to lift you up, not trip you up. If you're nodding along, comment with the number 4 to let me know you're still with me. Let's keep going with the final habit to make living alone a strength, not a risk. Let's dive into the fifth habit that can transform living alone into a source of strength, building emotional and social anchors to keep you connected and grounded. Living by yourself doesn't mean you have to feel isolated, but the quiet of an empty house can sometimes settle into your heart. It's not just about missing people, it's about losing that sense of being seen, needed, or part of something bigger. When you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, those moments of disconnection can sneak up, turning peaceful solitude into something heavier like loneliness or even depression. The good news is you don't need a packed social calendar to feel alive and valued. Small, meaningful connections can be like threads weaving you back into the world in a way that feels natural and fulfilling. Take Sarah, an 83-year-old who lives alone in a rural cottage. After her husband passed, her days grew quiet. She still tended her garden and read her novels, but she felt like she was fading into the background of her own life. Then she joined a local book club that met over Zoom. It wasn't much, just an hour a week, chatting about mysteries and memoirs, but it gave her a reason to laugh, share stories, and feel like her voice mattered. That small connection sparked others. She started calling her granddaughter every Sunday, and even her mail carrier became a friendly face for quick chats. Those moments didn't fill her house with people, but they filled her heart with purpose. You can build your own anchors, and they don't have to be big or complicated. Start with something as simple as a weekly phone call with a friend or family member. Schedule it like an appointment, say every Tuesday evening, and treat it like a dose of medicine for your soul. If you're comfortable online, explore communities that match your interests. There are forums for everything from knitting to classic car enthusiasts, many tailored for older adults. Even a few messages a week can make you feel part of something. Volunteering is another powerful anchor, and it doesn't mean leaving home. You could write letters for a charity tutor, kids over video calls, or knit blankets for a local shelter. Feeling useful is like a spark that keeps your spirit bright. Don't underestimate the power of a pet either. A cat purring on your lap or a dog nudging you for a walk can bring comfort in routine. Research shows that pets can lower stress and even boost your heart health, plus they're great listeners. If a pet isn't an option, check out your local senior center or community programs. Many offer virtual events, meal deliveries, or even transportation to social gatherings. The goal isn't to be the life of the party, it's to find one or two threads that tie you to the world, whether that's a neighbor who waves hello or a group that shares your love of old movies. These connections don't just fight loneliness, they remind you that you're still a vital part of the world. If this resonates, drop a comment with the number 5 to let me know you're here. Let's wrap this up with some final thoughts. Living alone as an older adult can feel daunting. Those quiet risks, like a fall of missed medication or a lonely afternoon, can loom large. But it's not about the risks. It's about the choices you make to turn your home into a safe, vibrant space. Let's recap the journey we've taken. First, a daily check-in system like a quick text or a raised blind ensures someone knows you're okay without stealing your independence. Second, fall-proofing your home. Clearing clutter, adding lights, securing rugs makes your space a partner, not a hazard. Third, regular self-checks like a weekly journal of how you feel put you in charge of your health, catching small issues before they grow. Fourth, designing your home for easy access. Lowering shelves, adding grab bars, keeping phones nearby keeps you moving confidently. And fifth, building emotional anchors, whether through a pet, a phone call, or a community group keeps your heart connected and your purpose alive. These habits aren't about avoiding every risk, they're about embracing your strength and wisdom to live life on your terms. You've navigated decades of challenges, from raising families to weathering losses, and that resilience is still in you. Think of Clara, a 90-year-old I heard about who lives alone in her city apartment. She's got her daily text to her son, a grab bar in her shower, and a weekly Zoom with her knitting group. She told me, "I don't just live alone, I live well." That's the goal, not just safety, but a life that feels rich and yours. You deserve that at any age. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and share one thing you learned today, or a step you're planning to take to make living alone safer or more fulfilling. Your thoughts mean the world to me and help keep this community growing. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the bell so you don't miss more tips to live your best life. Here's to thriving solo with confidence, safety, and a heart full of purpose. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.